Hello everyone, and welcome to Webcam Wrestling, and today I'm going to be doing a Raw After, but this is a very special Raw After because I was at attendance for this one. I was a part of the lively crowd of Greensboro, North Carolina, and it was actually a pretty cool episode. This was the go-home week for SummerSlam, which SummerSlam has already happened, so that will tell you how busy I've been and unable to do my video for this one. So that being said, though, I have to get this in the memory banks before it's too late. I would like to remember everything. Any outside information, uh, this was a very, chill thing. I obviously do not live in Greensboro, and I'm not going to tell you where I live. Do not dox me. But it was in a safe driving distance of however many hours that you don't need to know. And I'd been to this complex before because this building before the Coliseum because that's where Starcade was. And for those who follow this channel will know I was there as well. And this episode, I was a little bit afraid. It was the go home week, but at the same time, a lot of bullshit storylines going on in WWE at this point in time. But I'm saying that around SummerSlam, things get cooler around this time period. And it did. The past couple weeks have been really cool, including this one. I just know it's gonna go downhill sooner or later because it was downhill just a couple of weeks ago, like really badly. But this one, in this episode, we start things off with Ronda Rousey, our girl Rowdy Ronda Rousey, which I don't. It's been so long since I've done a video on here that I don't even think I've completely talked about Ronda Rousey. But yeah, she basically opened up talking about Anvil. I didn't even know Anvil had passed away until just hearing about it on this episode. Usually, it always gets back to me when the legends pass. Early when it happens. But as I said, it was a busy day. I've been busy pretty much every day, and it was one of those things where I just woke up, went to work, got off, immediately went to Greensboro, and next thing you know, apparently Anvil passed away. Um, so there was this segment that was obviously supposed to feature Natalia, where um, I assume normally it would have gone down where uh, Natalia had a match with Alexa Bliss, and there's Ronda ringside, so Alexa brings out security. But due to the passage of Anvil, Natty couldn't be here that week or this week, so we had Ember Moon kind of fill her shoulders, or fill her shoes. I don't know why I said shoulders. And they got Ronda and Ember have to act more friendly just to kind of make it work. I would like to see Ember Moon, so I was hoping that she wouldn't just be left out. I'd rather see Ember Moon than Natalia. I've seen Natalia fight live, I think, a couple times at this point. Ember Moon was new, though. That being said, uh, there's this big promo by Alexa. She has Alicia by her. Very terrible, awkward, like when Ronda starts beating up everybody. Big, awkward mess kind of in the middle. I do like Alexa's promo, but her match with Ember, all of Alexa's matches, I remember people in the crowd, wrestling fans, just would not shut the fuck up and would chant and shout out random annoying things. But one of them had a point, which is they're just like, all your matches are boring towards Alexa, and Alexa's matches are pretty fucking boring a lot of the time. They're boring because the story usually is kind of not action packed. The ones Alexa goes for, But sometimes I would much prefer a story-driven match. But her story-driven matches that also suck are no excuse because a lot of times she'll just be like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna run away from my opponent and then sneak attack him," like the same thing that I've done like 100 times. I'm just like, that's not fun anymore. It's not. But that's basically how that segment went down. I gotta reload my page here. Okay, I'm just gonna go by the order that WWE uploaded them. Which they have here under the description of the playlist of Monday Night Raw. See Seth Rollins, Sasha Banks, Roman Reigns, Bayley, and Brock Lesnar on the longest running weekly television show in history. I find it hilarious that Bayley and Brock Lesnar are being marketed in the same little bio. Especially since Brock Lesnar is no longer a part of the show. At least not for a while. But that is how I like it. This last episode of Raw was really great. Anyway, following this, we had this weird thing where Baron Corbin was making matches, so he puts himself in a match with Tyler Breeze, squashes Breeze, which, how much lower on the card can you get when people are like, oh, I want to fight somebody weak, I'm going to beat you up, and then you just get beat anyway. But at the same time, Baron needs a little bit of heat. Like, if he's trying to be this powerful authority figure going against Finn Balor, he needs a little bit of momentum. So, it's rough seeing this many people get buried sometimes. But and then the joke was, he's like, okay, and then I'm gonna have Finn come down, and Finn is gonna be in a handicap match against Kevin Owens and Jinder Mahal. Just your textbook baddies. And to counteract that, Kurt Angle comes out and says, it's going to be a tag match, playa. And your partner is going to be Braun Strowman. So it really isn't a one-sided match anymore. And my girlfriend, who I went to this event with, that's her two favorite guys on the roster right now. So she just went apeshit. It was really cool. It was a decent match, all things considered. I thought, the baby faces are just gonna have a babyface victory, and sometimes, especially on the go home week, you want a little bit more story. But at the same time, WWE, I feel like it's just been trickling stories. Like, it'll have one cool thing, like, in the 4-week period, like, 1.5 of them will be really cool, and the other two would just be, oh, yeah, whatever. And this is one of those, yeah, whatevers. Like, Kevin and Braun, that's already where it needs to be. Kevin and Baron, that's already where it needs to be, and I don't know why Jinder Mahal was out here. Anyway. After that, we had Sasha Banks versus Ruby Riott, and this was a match just to kind of establish that Ruby Riott is back on the roster and she's a predominant threat, and she won this week after SummerSlam too. So Sasha and Bayley look weak as fuck, but the Riott Squad look on top of their fucking game, which I'm happy for them. And I was very annoyed during this match because there was a little girl in the crowd who would not shut the fuck up for the majority of this fucking 3-hour event. And at one point, she's just like, let's go, Sasha! Come on, Sasha! 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 I was like, bitch, shut the fuck up about Sasha Banks. I was like, and I was just thinking to myself, I really hope Sasha Banks loses just so this little girl shuts up. And she fucking lost! She got the roll up! She's done! Sasha Banks is buried by a roll up, but she did lose pretty clean this week. So yeah, Sasha Banks is getting pretty buried, but seeing how people come back from the bottom of the card as of late sometimes, I'm not counting her out yet. She might have an actual title reign one of these days. It's just not gonna be for a while. Then there was this weird segment where there was this jobber who was basically a huge Elias fan. And he tried, making music, playing the guitar, and then Elias was like, nah, I'm gonna make the music. And then Bobby Lashley came out and he was like, none of you are gonna play the music. And then he just squashes the guy, and then, yeah, that's it. It was a weird segment. Everything they're doing with Bobby Lashley is weird. Then there is a practical squash match with Bobby Roode and Titus Worldwide versus Mojo Rawley and the Authors of Pain. I don't even know who won that match. I'm assuming it's AOP because they've been on a winning streak. I literally don't even remember that match. I remember seeing it and being like, okay, I've now seen Authors of Pain, blah, 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 blah. Don't actually remember the match. So that'll show you what I think of that. And then the B team fought the Deleters of Worlds, and they fought the Revival. And the B team won, keeping that undefeated streak. And I'm a big Bray Wyatt guy. I love Matt Hardy's current run. I loved the Deleters of World when they first started before it kind of got stale very quickly. And that's unfortunate, but with how Matt's health condition is turning as of late and the fact that Bray kind of should be doing something different by now, despite his face turn, what more can I expect? The B team goes over. The Revival looks like chumps, but it is what it is. At least the B team are a worthwhile comedy act, and that's not nothing. I'll take it. Um, I didn't watch NXT, so I'm not like a big, I'm not pushing for the Revival just because I've heard they had amazing matches down there. But yeah, the B team go over, nothing new there. And then we got this really, really cool segment with Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns. This was basically to follow up last week where Paul Heyman got shoved down by Brock Lesnar, which now that I know that was a fake, I was like, really? He's just gonna Liam Neeson facepalm him into the ground like it's Taken 2 or something? But now that I know that it's a ruse, I'm a little bit more okay with that. I kind of don't like that it was a ruse, though. I was actually theorizing it to the point where I was like, he said unless, I was like, okay, maybe he's going to turn to Braun, and Braun will cash in, and then he'll be a Paul Heyman guy. Or, even better, Kevin Owens will win, and then he will become the Paul Heyman guy. And I was like, that's so awesome, but obviously that didn't happen. Kevin Owens he was on a complete different spectrum on the card for SummerSlam. Oh god, what do they do with Kevin Owens? And I was wearing a Kevin Owens shirt for this Raw, by the way. So, during this segment, Paul is actually trying to get Roman Reigns to come to the dark side. He's like, you gotta work with me, Roman. We can do great things together. The reigning, defending, Universal Champ, Roman Reigns. And then Roman is Roman, where he's like, nah, man, I'm not doing that. You a shady cat, dog. I'm not fucking with you. I'm the big dog, and that's all he did. Paul Heyman, obviously, he was trying to sneak attack Roman here. This was all a ruse. Kind of dumb, but it only lasts for 2 weeks, so it kind of makes sense that you try to get the jump on him for SummerSlam, but at the same time, it really just seemed out of character. Whatever. Paul pulls out a can of fucking pepper mace spray, sprays him down like a fucking... like when I see a fucking bug and I have bug spray, I'm like, ah! Like, that's how fucking intense it got. And then Brock Lesnar comes out. He picks up the downed Reigns for an F5 just to make him look like a bitch before SummerSlam. But we all know how that goes down. Whoever gets the heat on the go home week doesn't get it back. Anyway, that was that segment. That was actually a really cool segment. I popped. I didn't think I would see Ronda Rousey, Roman Reigns, and the surprise Dean Ambrose all in one night. And I didn't even mention I gotta be a part of history because Renee Young was on the announce table this week. I didn't really get to judge it because you don't get to hear the announcers when you're in the stage or in the audience, I should say. But hey, I got to even make my one episode even more historic and eventful. Um, was there anything else before the main event? I think that was everything. Yeah. Yeah, so the last part was the main event, which was the Intercontinental title scene. Basically, Dolph Ziggler was, going backstage with Kurt all night being like, Seth Rollins isn't here. Seth Rollins isn't here. His contract, it's not looking too good. We need to get this thing official, Kurt. Is this a forfeit? Am I fighting anybody for SummerSlam, Kurt? What's going on? What's the dealio? And then Kurt's just like, Dolph, I can't let you just win the title via forfeit. We gotta wait for Seth. And guess what? Seth was there the whole time. There was this one part where Dolph was like, what about this segment in the contract where it says he can have a manager? And Kurt points out, but you have a manager. And then Dolph's like, I do have a manager. He's like, and then Kurt was like, do you want me to strip you of having a manager? And then Dolph's like, no, I'll keep the manager. But looky here. This whole thing was first, because Dolph cuts this really amazing promo. And Seth waits for him to sign the contract after he gets this whole speech out. After that, he points out that there was travel issues, it just wasn't with him. And then out comes the lunatic fringe. Ya boy, Dean Ambrose, and he is meaty. He's got some fucking gains for days. He's got the Triple H short hair. Everybody's trying to be Triple H nowadays. Looking jacked. Clears the ring with the baddies. Goes down. We got a Shield Fist reunion at the end there. Seth and Dean pick up right where they left off when Dean got injured, for God's sake. Only now Seth is in the Intercontinental title picture. And it's really sad because now that the Shield is kind of reuniting, Roman's got a belt, Seth has got a belt, but poor Dean, the guy returning, doesn't get shit. But he's heel turning, so it's okay. But yeah, that's how we ended the night, with a little mini Shield reunion. And it was so... it was such a cool night. I really gotta say, the one thing, because the last time I saw Raw was in 2008, 2007. This was around the time. This was 2008 because this was when John Cena was injured before WrestleMania 24. So yeah, last time I went, completely different set. That stadium was when I went to in 2008 was a lot bigger. This one seemed small. They really were packing us together to the point it was uncomfortable. Overpriced shit everywhere. I was gonna buy a fucking belt, but it was $400 and looked like shit. So and they actually declined my card because nobody should be spending $400 after spending so much money. Yeah, it was a good thing it didn't go through because fuck that belt. It looked awful when I was looking at it again. But yeah, The only thing I want to complain about, again, is general wrestling fans, and there was way too many commercials. There's way too many, let's sit around with the lights dark and watch a video package. I saw multiple of the same video packages. I'm paying money to be here. I'm not going to watch your video packages. Last time I was on Raw, they had the fucking kiss cam, they had the sign cam, they had little promos and shit that the wrestlers would cut off the air. I need more of that, please. I know that it's a different time, but hopefully it's not that bad. Ugh, that was my episode of Raw though in Greensboro. On the 13th of August. Dean Ambrose returning made my night. On top of that, I didn't think I would see Brock. Didn't think I would see Ronda. All of that made me a very happy camper. And yeah, I thought it was a good episode. If I would give it like 3 out of, well, I'll give it 4 out of 5 stars just for the personal attachment. There were some sleeper moments, like that tag team, B team going over again. Sasha Banks' match always are fucking boring too, as of late, so what can you do? But that was my episode of Raw. Again, it was a good one. I enjoyed it. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next episode of Webcam Wrestling. I'm going to record my SummerSlam review right after this, so... Anyway, again, thank you for watching, and with that, I leave you.